image that we shot. And let me just point out basic lighting, okay? And let me show you that basic lighting right now. Super, super simple. All right, white background, okay, we have a softbox, we have a reflector, and that is it. All right, we basically shot it at f8, our shutter speed was an 80th, and our ISO was 200. Real basic stuff. We don't care that this background is not completely white. Actually, we don't want it to be completely white because we want to keep all of the detail in the edge, so this way it's easier to cut out. All right, and a lot of people try to get this to be a high key right off the bat, and then what happens is they get light that's pushing through your subject's outline, and it makes it hard because it makes that edge really soft, and it makes it harder to extract. All right, so a little tip for you, don't try to light the background. If you were going to do just high key and you wanted to light the background, then yeah, you're going to want to basically take a light and kick it onto the background so it's actually a little bit brighter. All right, but we're not going to do that in this case. So that's why I say it's super simple to do. And that's the diagram right there. All right, so let's move on. First thing I'm going to do is go over here to my extraction tool for this process. I'm going to use the magic wand tool. Now, in CS5, they did add, and I think it's in CS3 too, is the quick selection tool. This is really easy to use if you wanted to use this. It's not necessary for me in this. I usually use that if I'm going against a busy background, but you can just basically go in here and just start selecting like this, and it's going to fill in up to that outline. All right, and it's the same idea, it's just kind of in reverse. All right, I'm not going to use that technique in this, but you should play around with that technique because it is handy, especially if you're going against a busy background. All right, so let's just start over here. I'm going to use the magic wand tool. I'm going to set my tolerance. I'm going to start it at 20, and we're going to see what happens. All right, so I'm just going to click somewhere in here, and then you can see it didn't fill the entire area. So I'm going to hold down my shift key and click again. And then in here, I'm going to click again, and then you can see it's done a pretty good job. Now, the one thing I'm not going to worry about is this area over here, because I'm probably going to get rid of that little hair that's popping out there anyway, but this side I am going to want to keep intact. But remember, we're going against white, so we don't have to be perfect. All right, that looks pretty close right there. That looks pretty good, and I'm not going to worry about this down here because we're going to use a certain prop that's going to cover that up. All right, but let me just point something out, and this is tip number 1 here we'll start with. All right, because I just received an email about this the other day. Someone was trying to put this like a white, when they were cutting out against a white background, they were trying to put this on a dark background, they were seeing a white edge, okay, almost like a little halo. And that's because it's doing this, all right? It's basically selecting up to where it starts to make that transition, all right? A simple fix to this is to just make this come all the way in on top of the material, all right, or the skin, all right? And I'm going to show you that real quick. Go to the select option here, go to modify and expand. And then you can expand it by however many pixels you want. I usually start with 2